Darryl from Select Driving School here. Today's video is on the subject of yellow painted road markings. Generally speaking, these are areas that you should not stop. So in this video I'm going to give you some examples and explanations of what the various markings are that you might see. And I also want to point out how you should deal with them when driving. They're often faded and ill-maintained, but it's really important that you show due regard and response to them on your driving test. So I'll be giving some tips on that as well. I hope you like the video. If you do, please click like or visit my Facebook page or YouTube channel and ask me any questions for any future videos there. Thank you. So here are some examples of yellow road markings. First of all, the ubiquitous double yellow lines. You should not stop on these at any time. Your examiner will often ask you to pull over at the side of the road. They were looking for you to pick somewhere safe, legal and convenient. They're not usually looking to catch you out, but if there are any double yellow lines in the vicinity of where you're asked to pull over, do not stop here. Now we have single yellow lines. These also indicating no waiting, but are usually accompanied by a sign that tells you when you can or cannot wait. In this case, you're not allowed to wait between the hours of 8 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the evening. Moving on, we have the zigzags that you will often see outside schools. Again, no parking on these. These are designed to create a safety zone for children to come and go from schools. So you should not park on them, and if you do need to queue whilst going past them, make sure you give them plenty of clearance, especially near school times, to allow pedestrians to have a proper view of traffic that may be passing. Now we move on to bus stops. Obviously you're not driving a bus, so you shouldn't be stopping here. When you are driving along, it is acceptable to pause over a bus stop, assuming that there are no buses already there. As you are queuing, the buses wouldn't be able to get in it anyway because they will be following you in the queue, but you should not park up at any point. I'll move on to yellow box junctions. The rules for these are that you must not enter them if your exit is not clear. The only exception to this is if you want to turn right, and the only reason you cannot complete your turn is because of oncoming traffic or other traffic also waiting to turn right. Although I would add the rider on this that if there's already one or two cars waiting in the box junction, my personal recommendation would be to still not enter it and to remain behind the stop line for the entry to the junction. The rule about the exit being clear also applies even if you are turning right. So the advice here really is again to try and look and spot them early, and to help you do this, hang back. Don't get too close to the cars in front. If you're really close up behind a car, you won't see the yellow box until it's too late, and then the chances are you're going to drive onto it and find that you end up getting stranded in it if there isn't room for you beyond it. So make sure you've got plenty of room between you and the vehicle in front. If you see the yellow markings, don't start to enter them unless you know that you're going to be able to get clear of them and stop on the other side. This next example of a yellow box shows you just how poorly the markings can become when they're not maintained. This particular set are on a cobbled road. The cobbles don't help the markings because the paint gets broken very easily, but as you approach it you can see yellow paint. My advice here is if you see yellow paint, err on the side of caution and assume you shouldn't stop there, especially if you want to pass your driving test. Now finally, in a similar vein, we're going to look at red routes. We have no red routes in Halifax, but red routes are basically places where you must never stop. You cannot stop to put passengers down or pick passengers up even for a second. You'll find these in major cities, but they are also starting to pop up around airports where security concerns are obviously increasing. So again, double red lines, never stop. You can also have single ones but again they will be accompanied by signs in a similar vein to the single yellows that we saw earlier. They are heavily enforced. Do not stop there. If you do, you will almost certainly be fined. So I hope you find this useful. If you do, please click like. If there's any other subjects you'd like me to cover, then please let me know via my Facebook page, my website or my YouTube channel. Thank you.